President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. administered the oath of office to 210 cabinet members who were recently bypassed by the Commission on Appointments or CA. The following reappointed cabinet members took their oath before Marcos Jr. in Malacanang: Benjamin Diokno as the Secretary of the Department of Finance, Manuel Bonoan as the Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways, Alfredo Pascual as Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry, Erwin Tulfo as the Secretary of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Jaime Bautista as Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Renato Solidum Jr. as Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, Rafael Lotilla as Secretary of the Department of Energy, Susan Toots Opre as Secretary of the Department of Migrant Workers, Arsenio Balisacan as Secretary of the National Economic Development Authority, and Jose Rizalino Acuzar as Secretary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the groundbreaking event of a portion of the construction of the Metro Manila Subway Project. Max Legaspi has a full story.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the inauguration of a portion of the Metro Manila Subway Project. The groundbreaking event took place in Metro Commercial Complex in Pasig City. Senators Grace Poe, J.V. Ejercito, and Mark Villar, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, Japanese Ambassador Kazuhiko Koshikawa, Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA Chief Representative Sakamoto Takema, and Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto were also present during the event. The inauguration occurred because of the subway's 17.7 billion contract package 104, which will include the construction of the Ortigas and Shaw stations that was given last April to the consortium of Megawide Construction Corporation, Tokyo Construction Corporation Ltd., and Tobishima Corporation. The idea of building a Metro Manila subway was originally proposed in 1973 during the administration of Marcos' late father and namesake Ferdinand Marcos Sr. During the inauguration, President Marcos Jr. said in his statement that this project will make people gain more time by cutting long hours of travel. In addition to this, he also stated that people can now engage in more worthwhile and productive endeavors. For Golden Nation Network, this is Max Legaspi.
For Senate updates, Senator Joel Villanueva raised his concerns about the practice of placing doctors in certain locations based on their seniority, despite the fact that there are many open positions in government hospitals and healthcare institutes. This is after the Department of Health or DOH officer in charge, Maria Rosado Vergeire, revealed the seniority practice at the Senate Finance Committee hearing on the DOH's projected 2023 budget. Vergeire concurred with the data, admitting that the DOH had been facing many challenges in filling up the vacancies. Moreover, Senator Raffy Tulfo encouraged the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR to target oil smugglers and major tax evaders rather than local income earners and small enterprises in order to help the government raise revenues. He also requested records from the Bureau of Customs or BOC demonstrating that all gasoline items with markings correspond to information from the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which has a global database of all enterprises selling oil to the nation. Failure to match the record would signify that oil smuggling is rampant in the country, despite the government's 1.9 billion pesos yearly contract with Switzerland-based inspection service provider, Societe Generale de Surveillance or SGS. Furthermore, Senator Raffy Tulfo informed the Department of Health or DOH that he would give them until December 25 or 2 months to give the medical staff their appropriate COVID-19 response and benefits and allowances. JC Ogaire has a full report.
Senator Raffy Tulfo notified the Department of Health or DOH that he would give them until December 25 or 2 months to provide the medical staff with the proper COVID-19 response perks and allowances. In a statement, he said, quote-unquote, "I hope it can be given to them before Christmas. That's their money. They worked hard for that. They risked their lives during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's only a small amount, yet we still deprive them of it, and it gets stuck somewhere. For DOH's part, DOH-OIC Maria Rosario Vergere claimed that the DOH has been working with the Department of Budget and Management or DBM to coordinate the release of additional monies for the medical personnel. According to her, the DOH requested the release of 11 billion pesos and 1 billion pesos in funding for healthcare professionals from the DBM on September 6 and September 9 respectively. She remarked that the negotiation with the DBM is for the additional funds for healthcare workers one COVID allowance or OCA, and so they can pay those who have yet to receive theirs. For Golden Nation Network, this is JC Ogaire.
As for the lower house, Davao City Representative Paulo Duterte lamented people who are pretending as tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged and displaced workers or TUPAD beneficiaries to receive a payout from the government. Natalie Danganan has a full story.
Davao City Representative Paulo Duterte lamented that some individuals are pretending as tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged and displaced workers or TUPAD beneficiaries to receive a payout from the government. In a statement, Representative Duterte said that a lot of people are using the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE program to scam the government. He added that he felt disappointed because despite the efforts shown by DOLE and barangay officials, some TUPAD beneficiaries were unable to benefit from the program. The lawmaker said that his office and DOLE 11 had taken steps to investigate the matter and arrest those involved in the crime, adding that they must face the consequences of their actions. He also emphasized that stealing from the government's treasury and one's individuality is punishable by law, especially since it was committed during a time of crisis in the country. Meanwhile, Duterte stressed that he hopes that those people who are involved in such scams were happy and fulfilled from stealing, knowing that there are people who suffer from hunger and poverty. For Golden Nation Network, this is Natalie Danganan.
In other developments, in honor of World Teachers' Day on October 5, Representative Patrick Michael Vargas filed a measure to raise the pay grade level for educators working in public schools. The proposed House Bill number 4070 aims to adjust the minimum salary grade level of public school teachers from salary grade or SG11, currently at 25,439, to SG19 or 49,835 pesos. The salary grade for teachers bill along with the other pro-teacher measures are refiled versions from the 18th Congress filed by Representative Vargas's brother and now incumbent Quezon City Councilor Alfred Vargas. On the other hand, Philippine Red Cross or PRC Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Richard Gordon reminded the public to remain vigilant and not complacent against COVID-19. Natalie Danganan has a full story.
Philippine Red Cross or PRC Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Richard Gordon reminded the public to remain vigilant, not complacent, and still practice the minimum health standards against COVID-19. In a statement, Gordon reminded everyone to practice the following safety measures against the virus, which are mask, iwas, and hugas. He stressed all Filipinos should wear masks in crowded places and indoors, practice social distancing, especially in schools and public transportation, and wash hands frequently. He also gave emphasis on the importance of COVID-19 testing for both symptomatic and asymptomatic patients. Moreover, the organization assured that it is working closely together with the government on the mission of promoting vaccination and booster shot for high-risk individuals. These are people under A1 category of healthcare workers, A2 category of senior citizens, and A3 or those with existing comorbidities. Meanwhile, PRC is urging everyone, especially those who are still hesitant to get vaccinated, to think of their loved ones as having no vaccination can put anyone at risk. As of time being, the Department of Health or DOH reported 16,017 new COVID-19 cases from September 26 to October 2. These numbers are 10% lesser than the previous week's tally. For Golden Nation Network, this is Natalie Danganan.
Up next on News Force. PRC Chairperson Gordon warns public amid complacency with COVID-19 protocols. Indigenous people still refuse to receive COVID-19 vaccines due to culture and practices. "30 U.S. universities set to join 6th U.S. and Philippines Education Fair. Stay tuned for more stories and reports when News Force returns.